It was a day like any other in Detroit, the sun pouring down on the asphalt when an elderly woman named Dolores Washington found herself at the center of an unimaginable storm. Picture this: a petite figure, 73 years young, her silver hair pulled back in a neat bun, radiating an air of calm confidence as she rolled down the street on her motorcycle, a stunning tribute to her long military service. Then in an instant, all hell broke loose. Suddenly, Officer Mitchell, a man in his late 20s, bellowed across the street, his voice cutting through the air like a sword. "Turn off the motorcycle!" Dolores, unfazed and composed, did as she was told, raising an eyebrow as the arrogance of a much younger force surrounded her. It's as if they'd mistaken her for a mere target rather than the decorated veteran she truly was. "Ma'am," one young officer sneered, "you shouldn't be driving this. It's dangerous at your age." I mean, can you believe that? There she was, an ironclad spirit in the body of a wise elderly woman, and they were infantilizing her, dismissing her years of experience. Dolores wasn't just a woman, folks. She was a history, a story rich in fights won on battlefields, but all they saw was an old lady on a shiny motorcycle. As they began questioning her, the tension in the air thickened. The crowd that had formed was capturing every second on their phones, stunned and whispering in disbelief. Dolores stood tall, her hands resting calmly on her thighs as she asked the pointed question that just hung in the air. "Am I being detained? Is this legal?" Her poise was remarkable, and with each word a wave of support washed over her. Standing to the side, a longtime friend and mechanic named James watched this unfold, his heart racing. He could see the insignia on Dolores's license plate, a military plate that said everything about her past and nothing about who she was in that moment. The young officers, absolutely clueless, unable to comprehend the gravity of their error, James took action. He whipped out his phone, dialing military command and initiating an emergency response system that would turn the tide. Back at the scene, things were escalating. Officers pressed for sobriety tests, a humiliating ordeal Dolores had no intention of submitting to. The crowd was growing restless. People could see the injustice unraveling before their eyes. You could feel the sympathy swelling for Dolores, a woman who had clung to her dignity amidst this absurdity. And then it happened. James's call reached Fort Hamilton, where they viewed the situation as urgent. The protocol activated like a well-oiled machine, and moments later, 10 military generals outfitted in full regalia arrived on the scene. Imagine the shock, the complete shift in power dynamics. No one except Dolores could have predicted that these high-ranking officers would emerge to salute her, their faces, ironclad eyes sharp. "General Washington, ma'am," they greeted her, the crowd erupting into applause. Those little badges and eagles on their uniforms told of battles fought, comrades lost, and respect earned. I mean, can you picture the young officers, their eyes wide with confusion and a fleeting hint of panic as they realized they'd misjudged a military icon? Dolores, with a smile that was both fierce and humble, dressed the gathering. "What you see before you," she began, her voice steady, "is a woman who has fought for the respect that every person deserves." She looked right at the officers who had so grievously underestimated her. "If there's anything this moment teaches us, it's that appearance doesn't define capability. Authority needs respect, not fear." A stunned silence descended, punctuated only by the soft rustling of the crowd absorbing her words. The officers stood, their shoulders slumped, knowing they couldn't retreat from the truth of their actions. It's one thing to be wrong, it's another to be publicly called out for it by a general no one had seen coming. Now the immediate consequence was swift orders were given. Officers were told to stand down, and soon after suspensions were handed out. But the long-term fallout, that was monumental. Headlines blared about the incident for days. But this time Dolores was portrayed not as a victim, but as a beacon of dignity and respect, spreading a message that resonated with thousands. As more stories began to surface from veterans emboldened by Dolores's courage, a national movement began to take shape, one dedicated to ensuring that no one would ever again be judged purely by the cover of their age or appearance. New policies started rolling out in law enforcement, emphasizing sensitivity and training, focused on recognizing military veterans, honoring their sacrifices rather than dismissing them. Dolores Washington became a household name, her speeches growing in number, echoing in communities and at military functions nationwide. She transformed her fallout into a lesson, reminding people that dignity should always take precedence over prejudice. Reflecting on that day in Detroit, It makes you wonder, how often do we misjudge someone based on what we see? What do those first impressions cost us? As the story of General Dolores Washington ripples through our collective consciousness, I invite you to share your own experiences. Have you witnessed moments where someone was underestimated? How can we foster respect in our daily lives? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's spark a conversation about dignity, authority, and the moments that shape our understanding of justice.